Hi everyone, this is Angeli and welcome back to my channel, Teaching Without Borders, Educating Globally. Today we're going to talk about Mexico. Mexico is one of my favorite vacation spots. I have been to Mexico, I can't tell you how many times. I just love Mexico. Not only that, I have taught in Mexico for quite a number of years at different schools in Mexico City, Guadalajara, Pachuca. I love Guadalajara and Pachuca. Pachuca gives you that country feeling, that at home feeling with the birds are singing, coconut trees, walking to the fruit market. If you're into that, Pachuca is definitely for you. But anyway, let's jump right into it. I'm going to tell you why Mexico is one of the top destinations for international teachers, the type of schools hiring foreign teachers, average salaries and benefits, cost of living, and common misconception. Also, this is going to be, I think this is going to be a 2 or 3 part video. Yes, it is, because I have so much to share with you guys. I am going to do a deep dive into Mexico. Yes, I am. I'm telling you, you guys are going to, not only that, the exchange rate is immaculate. I mean, when it comes to the exchange rate, because $1 US in Mexico is probably like 20 pesos. And I think that's a great deal compared to other foreign countries. But anyway, let's get into this videos. So first we're going to start off with, like I said, we're going to talk about introduction, which is like why Mexico is one of the top destinations for international schools, type of schools hiring foreign teachers, average salaries and benefits, cost of living, and common misconceptions. All right, so first, let's talk about the schools hiring in Mexico. Now, there are international schools in Mexico, and a lot of people are confused and, get crossed over with what is an American school or international school. So you have international schools, different from American curriculum schools, different from the British curriculum schools, that's different from the IB school, Canadian schools, bilingual private schools, universities, language institutes, public school programs, and where to find these vacancies. And let me tell you, teachers, this is tricky. This is not just, I'm going to search and find and just get a job. No. Do not underestimate the rules and the requirements and the guidelines for applying for schools in Mexico. I did that years ago. And let me tell you something, I end up on the merry-go. Have you ever been to the circus or the fair and you sat on that horse and the horse is going around and around and around? It happened to me. So let me tell you something, I had to learn the hard way. So I don't want this happen to you guys. I want to share this with you guys and then you have private tutors. You have families, rich families in Mexico that were willing to pay you top dollars to come and tutor their kids full time. And they will give you accommodation on the property, or they will pay you enough to find you an Airbnb or a furnished apartment. But we will get into that. So like I said, you have international schools, you have American curriculum schools, you have British curriculum schools, you have IB schools, you have Canadian schools, bilingual private schools, universities, language institutes, public programs, and where to find vacancies, and also private jobs. Now, requirements are different for teachers. Not because you might come and live in Canada, you might be a Canadian teacher, you might be a U.S. teacher, U.S. citizen teacher. They're different, So I'm going to break this down for you guys. First of all, let's get into the requirements for U.S. passport holders if you want to teach in Mexico. So, degree requirement. Make sure you apply to the subject of your degree. Again, if your degree is in science, do not apply for a position as a physical education teacher. Don't do it. Stick to your degree. If you have a degree in English, Stick to hiring positions that are hiring teachers that need English teachers. Okay? Also, you must have a teaching license. You must, and your teaching license must be updated. It cannot be expired. Remember that, teachers. Also, you have the TESOL and the TFL certificate. Those are very important, and they can get you more money. They can give you more bang for your buck. I'm telling you, not only that, you can teach privately, extra lessons with these. You know, you have the visa requirements. Remember, not because you have a U.S. passport, you think you can just go into Mexico and say, hey, I'm a U.S. citizen and I have a teaching degree, I have a teaching license, and I want to apply for your school. No, 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 no. That's not how it goes. You have to abide by their visa requirements. And I'm going to break that down a little bit more for you guys. A criminal background check. Yes, they are big on that. You must pass a criminal background check in your country. You have to do a FBI criminal background check. That means, ladies and gentlemen, you have to put down those 10 fingers. Yeah. So double check. If you have a ticket outstanding or whatever you have, make sure that you have a clean and clear crystal criminal background check. Your document has to be apostille requirements, meaning that they have to be stamped, notarized, authorized by the Department of Education. You know, because a lot of fake documents are flying around, floating around. You would be surprised. And salary expectations. Yep. Now, the salary expectations, we're going to dive a little bit more into this. Like I said, this is going to be a 2 or 3 part series. I'm going to focus more on these topics and these titles and these subtitles. So, yes, preferred experience. A lot of schools want you to have at least 2 years of teaching requirements or experience in your home country. Now, I'm not saying that they won't hire teachers that are fresh out of college or university. I'm not saying that they won't, but they prefer to have teachers that have at least 2 years, 24 months of teaching experience. And this is for U.S. passport holders. This is for teachers that got a teaching degree in the United States of America and or U.S. citizens and or green card holders. Okay? So let's jump in now to the Canadian passport holders or teachers. Requirement for Canadian passport holders teachers. Yes, there are similarities with the U.S. application. For instance, degree requirements, teaching license, visa requirements, criminal background check, apostille requirements, salary expectation, and preferred experiences, but also credential recognition. Credential recognition. Remember that. Police certificate, visa processing, and preferred certification. And these I'm going to get into a little bit more. Now, also with the Canadian teaching requirements, there's a lot of schools in Mexico that teach the Canadian curriculum and they're only hiring Canadian teachers. So if you see a school that says preferred certification means that if you see a school and it says Canadian teachers only, don't assume that because you have a teaching license, a degree from the U.S., from the States, you can apply because they are only teaching the Canadian curriculum. That's it. No other curriculum is being taught at that school. Now, there's a lot of flexibility with American curriculum schools. They will take British teachers. They will take Jamaican teachers. They will take Canadian teachers. But the Canadian curriculum is a little bit stricter. So pay attention to that. I learned the hard way. Yes, I did. This happened to me with a school it's called Leaf, Canadian Maple Leaf. And they are a set of schools in China that hire Canadian teachers. And I went and applied to them. I got the job. Everything went good. And then they said, oh, you have to go and get your documents sent to Canada to go through the Canadian system so you can get a Canadian teaching license before we can go in. I mean, I got the job, the visa was processing, I got the apartment, everything, signed my contract, everything was looking good. And I'm like, spaghetti-o. I mean, ladies, it was a crusher. And that was years ago. And that school, Maple Leaf, they were paying, when I worked out the currency difference, and it worked out to almost 6,000 Canadian dollars a month. Yes. And I'm like, oh, so I learned the hard way. So I want to share that with you guys also. All right. So let's jump into teaching requirements for the British, the Europe, and EU passport holders. There are the same qualifications and requirements. You know, these schools require from these citizens of this country the QTS, the PGCE, DBS checks, degree recognition, international school expectation, and visa documentation. You see the difference? DBS check is similar to a background check or a criminal background check. And visa documentation is the same as visa process. You know, every country has their own little terminology in how they do their thing. And so that is it. So if you have a British passport or a European passport or a EU passport, teachers, this is for you. This is what Mexico is requiring. The QTS, the PGCE, the DBS checks, the degree recognition, international school expectations, and visa documentation. And yes, I'm going to break down. I can hear the question, what is a QTS? What is a PGC? What is a DBS? I am going to break down all those for you teachers. Don't worry. I just want to go through this checklist and then I'm going to break down all these for you. These breakdowns are going to be in the thumbnails. And I'm going to have them ready for you. So don't worry, don't panic. I got you. So now let's think about, so a lot of teachers might be saying, but you're only talking about country teachers from America and from Canada or from England or from Europe or from Paris or France or Switzerland or Germany. What about teachers in the Caribbean? I got you guys. Yes, Mexico take Jamaican teachers. They take teachers from the Caribbean. But what I noticed, there's a lot of Mexicans that are hiring Jamaican teachers. There is a diaspora expat community in Mexico with a lot of Jamaican there. Yes, so yes, they are taking Caribbean teachers, especially Jamaican teachers. So I noticed that the Jamaican passport also says Caribbean community. And that's different. You know, that means that it's covering whatever community that falls in the Caribbean community of that Jamaican passport. And so I am going to talk about requirements for Jamaicans and Caribbean passport holders that are teachers. Now, the requirements to go to Mexico to teach, and yes, Jamaicans do not need visa to travel to Mexico. It is visa free. Okay. But if you are going to travel to teach, now it's a different process. You can still go there, visa free, but now you have to take the process and the steps to make sure you have the requirements to live and work there legally. So these are the requirements for Jamaican teachers and Caribbean teachers. Degree requirements, teaching council registration if applicable. And yes, again, I'm going to elaborate a little more on those. TEFL advantages. And I also tell you these TEFL and TESOL certificates, they can give you a little extra money in your pocket. And who doesn't want a little extra money? I know I want that money, teachers. I want that money. Trust me. Credential evaluation, visa sponsorship, challenges and opportunities. Now, everybody know that the percentage of the Caribbean community do not speak Spanish. Take out Cuba. We know Cubans speak Spanish. But like if you're from Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, sharpen up on that Spanish. Take a little course or something, because you're going to have challenges. I am telling you, teachers, I experienced it. I had so much issues. I had to get out that phone and do language exchange and get that app out and translate. And I mean, I'm telling you, it was rough. It was so hard getting around, but I survived because I was determined. Listen, I'm in Mexico. I'm not leaving. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to tour Mexico. I'm going to teach, and I'm going to enjoy what I do. And I was not going to let a language barrier deter me from doing what I love to do, and Mexico was on my bucket list. But guess what? I wanted somebody to pay for it. Yeah. And so I found out about, hey, I can teach, get a plane ticket to go to Mexico, housing is provided, and have fun while I'm teaching and tour the country. So yes, that was a good thing. Now, documents that every teacher needs, regardless of these countries that you're coming from, whether you're a Canadian teacher, an American teacher, a teacher from the British, from England, from the Euro, from EU, from Jamaica, from any Caribbean country, you need a passport. Your passport has to have at least 6 months validity left on it. If your passport is about to expire and you have less than 6 months, you have to renew your passport. Your degree, make sure that you have a degree. Make sure the degree is in the subject that you're applying for. Transcripts. Teachers, get your transcripts. Schools are big on transcripts because they're saying, okay, you can show me this degree, but the transcript tells me that you really, really went to school and this degree is real, it's authenticated, it's original. Get those transcripts. And police clearance. I'm telling you. Different countries call it different things. If it's police clearance in your country, a criminal background check, a DBS check, whatever it is, you have to get clearance that you have no criminal history in your record in your country, that you're clean, that you're clear. Medical exams, you have to do those medical exams. You have to. The schools want to know that you are not going to be falling out, having asthma attacks, that you don't have to be calling out because you have to go to get cancer treatment or whatever treatment, medical treatment that you need. Schools want to know that, hey, when I hire you, you're going to be there 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. They want to know they can rely on you. So your medical examination is very important. They want that medical check to see if they can put their trust in you or rely on you or depend on you to be there in the classrooms. Reference letters. Teachers, these are big. And I'm not talking reference letters from your friends or your neighbors. I am talking reference letters from the principal. I am talking reference letters from another teacher. And it's best that you get a reference letter from the head of the department. So whatever department you're in, get a reference, get at least 3. Get them notarized. I'm telling you. Those reference letters are going to be important. They might be a setback for you. Get your documents notarized. You know what I'm saying? Passport pictures. Get those passport pictures. So if you know that the last time you took a passport picture and your hair was blue or greener and it was short and a pixie cut, get an update passport picture, ladies. Get an update passport picture, gentlemen. I'm telling you, these are the simple things. Like I said, these are documents that every teachers need. Passport, that is at least 6 months up to date, your degree, your transcript, your police clearance, medical records, your resume, reference letters, passport size pictures. Yeah, those are required. And you know what? There are things that a lot of teachers, and my big thing is about mistakes. Mistakes that teachers make when they are applying for a job. I mean, small mistakes, medium-sized mistakes, big mistakes, but guess what? They're still mistakes. So now that we have covered the requirements for teachers from the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Jamaica, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked, the mistakes that can prevent qualified teachers from landing a job. One of the first mistakes is sending the same resume to every school. I talked about that in my first video. My first video, I said, do not send the same resume to every school. Make sure those resumes are tailor-made. Ensure that those resumes are tailor-made. Every school has different priorities. An international school following the International Baccalaureate IB curriculum is looking for different qualifications. Every school has different priorities. An international school following the IB curriculum is looking for different qualifications than a private bilingual school or language institute. Before applying, take time to read the job description. What did I say, teachers? Take time to read the job descriptions. Carefully tailor your resume to match the position. Highlight the experience, certification, and skills that are most important to that specific role. Another big mistake that teachers make, ignoring the job requirements. Didn't I talk about that in my first video? Yes, I did. Some schools clearly state that they require a teaching license, a bachelor's degree, or previous classroom experiences. Others may require an English teaching certificate, such as a TEFL certificate, a TESOL certificate, or a CELTA. Applying without meeting the minimum requirement often results in an automatic rejection. As simple as that. You'll be like, what happened? I did everything. I completed all the steps. But guess what? You did not have one of these simple teaching certificates, and it got you automatically disqualified for having a great experience in Mexico. So take heed, teachers. Another common mistake is waiting until after receiving a job offer to gather important documents. That's a no-no. Don't do it. Do not do it. Gather all your documents together first while or before applying to these jobs. Many schools in Mexico, the process is so swift. It happened to me. The process was so swift. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. 1 minute I'm applying to the school. Next minute I'm signing a contract and they're telling me, hey, we're getting ready to buy your ticket. And I'm like, oh my God, and I'm rushing, I'm running here, I'm doing all sort of, so I cramped a whole month into a week. Teachers, I'm telling you, don't do it. Like I said, many schools in Mexico require documents such as your degree certificate, official transcript, police background check, professional references, and a valid passport before they can begin the hiring or visa process. And it depends on your home country. Again, it depends on your home country. You may also need certified translations. Okay, that is if your document is not in English. Only if your documents are not in English. Teacher, gathering these documents early can help you respond quickly when opportunities arise. What I said, it's better to have the documents ready and not have the job more than the job pops up and you don't have the documents ready. You see what I'm saying? Get the documents together, have them together, prepared, set aside, so when the job comes around, you are ready to go. Okay? Remember, another thing we do, we use outdated or unprofessional email addresses. Now, if you know you're applying for a job, now tell me, why would your email address be cutiegirl.com? Cutie, teachers, don't do it. Don't do it. Or sexymama@gmail.com or hot boy or muscle man. Don't do it, teachers. Don't do it. That is not a professional email. Now, if I was the recruiter or I was the admin at the school and I saw an email came in with the hotmama.com, I'm like, or stud muffin. No, teachers, don't do it. I'm telling you, make sure the email is a professional email, preferably an email with your name on it, okay? All right. Okay. So your email address is often the first thing a recruiter sees. Use professional email that includes your name whenever possible. Also, make sure your mail greeting is appropriate in case a recruiter tries to contact you or the school tries to contact you by phone. You know, sometimes, have you ever called someone and you hear their voicemail or drop that thing? Don't do it. Don't do it. Teachers, don't do it. Okay. So if you know that you only have one phone number, one mobile number, change that greeting. Change it. I'm telling you. Change it. Or don't put any greeting at all. Don't do it, teachers. I'm telling you. Okay. Another mistake is submitting application with spelling and grammar errors. I am telling you. Check. You have so many apps on the internet, on Google, that can help you with your spelling, especially if you're an English teacher and your spelling is off. I'm like, how are you going to be an English teacher and you don't know how to spell? No, we're not hiring you. You're going to lead our kids down the rabbit hole like Alice in Wonderland. We're not hiring you. You're going to take those kids down the rabbit hole like Alice because you don't know how to spell and you don't have good grammar. So if you're applying to teach English, schools expect your written communication to reflect a high standard of professionalism. Carefully proofread your resume, cover letter, and emails before submitting them. Even small mistakes can create a negative impression. What did I say, teachers? Even small mistakes can create a negative impressions. Okay? Now, you have some applicants also underestimate the importance of professional references. Most schools will ask for at least 2 references. I always say get 3. You never know. An extra one won't harm you. You know? Like I said, most schools will ask for at least 2 references from supervisors, principal, department heads, or managers before applying. Contact your references to make sure they are willing to provide a recommendation that their contact information is current. I don't know how true it is, but I heard there was a teacher that told me that she used a reference, and when the school contacted her references, they blasted her. And she knew she got the job. And when the school got back to her, they said, listen, your reference was not good. They said that you are a horrible teacher. And she was flabbergasted. She was floored. So be careful who you choose as a reference. I'm telling you, be careful who you choose as a reference. All right. So bottom line is, teachers, teaching in Mexico can be an incredible, rewarding experience, both professionally and personally. Beyond the classroom, you'll have the opportunity to experience Mexico's rich culture, improve your Spanish, build lifelong friendships, and explore everything from beautiful beaches and historic cities to mountain villages and world-famous cuisine. I was in Mexico for May 5th, and let me tell you something, I loved it. Mayo de Cinco. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was a wonderful experience in Mexico City. You know, And I know that many teachers find that living abroad helps them grow in confidence, adaptability, and cross-culture communication. However, success begins long before you step onto a plane. What did I say, teachers? Success begins in the head. It begins in the mind. It begins in the heart. It begins in your spirit. Success begins long before you step onto that plane. Invest time in preparing a strong resume. Write in a thoughtful cover letter, organizing your documents, and researching schools that match your qualifications and career goals. A well-prepared application demonstrates professionalism and can set you apart from other candidates. Don't be discouraged if you don't receive an interview right away. What did I say? Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. I applied to 10 schools. Only 3 got back to me. That was years ago. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And I pondered over the resume and I go over the resume. And sometimes it's nothing that you did. They just choose someone else. You never know. So don't beat yourself up. Don't downplay yourself. You don't know. But just do your best. Don't be discouraged if you don't receive an interview right away. International recruitment is competitive. I am not big on going through recruiters. I rather go directly to the schools. And I'm going to do a couple of videos where you can get this email directly to the schools. I'm going to get that information for you teachers, that if you don't want to go through the recruiters, you have the school email address, the administrative, that department that you can email your resume to. Because I prefer doing that, And many successful teachers apply to several schools before receiving the right opportunity. I'm one of them. I am one of them. Treat each application as a learning experience. Listen to me. Treat each application as a learning experience. Grow from your mistakes. Learn from your experience. Continue refining your materials and remain persistent. Teachers, remain persistent. Remember that every school is different. Requirements can vary based on the curriculum, grade levels, location, and whether the school is private, bilingual, or international. Take your time to understand each school's expectations. This will increase your chance of finding a position that is good fit for both you and the employer. Because remember, it is a teamwork. It might be a good fit for you, but the school might not think you're a good fit for them. The school might think you're a good fit for them, but you might not think the school is a good fit for you. And don't jump into a 2-year contract. Sign a 1-year contract and feel it out. And if it's for you, sign another year or 2. But don't tie yourself down in a 2-year contract. Do a 1-year contract first, teachers, and get the feel of the school first. Okay? Here on my channel, Teach Beyond Borders, we share practical guidances on international teaching jobs, resume tips, interview preparation, country-specific hiring requirements, visa information, and strategies to help educators build successful careers overseas. If you are considering another destination, let me know in the comments, and we'd love to know which country you'd like us to feature on. But like I said, this is going to be a 2 or a 3-part series. I am going to collaborate and go in depth a little bit more about these schools, these countries, these schools, and the requirement. Also, I'm going to be giving you school names, and the addresses and the locations and the cities that they're in, because it's important to know if the school, where the school is located, if that is a safe neighborhood. Because we know every country is sketchy in its own way. You know what I'm saying? Even America that we live in, that is the sketchy neighborhoods. So I am going to deep dive into those in my next video. So I'm not going to stray away from this. This is my second vlog. I'm not going to stray away from it. I'm going to deep dive. I'm going to pull out some questions. I know you guys have questions. Put the questions down in the comments. Let me know what questions you have, because I'm going to deep dive and get a little bit more into this video. in my next video that I upload. All right, teachers. But again, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you. As I said, here on Teach Beyond Borders, we share practical guidance on international teaching jobs, resume tips, interview preparation, country-specific hiring requirements, visa information, and help educators build successful careers overseas. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for watching my channel. And thank you, everyone. Have a great day.